What is up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. This is the Family Chantel podcast. We're on season 3, episode 10. We're 10 episodes in, guys, and things are really heating up. The ladies of the family have arrived in the Dominican Republic for their girls' trip / support for Pedro trip. They're supporting Pedro in his search for his father. Chantel is there in full support, and Karen and Winter are there to kind of give Winter a nice little getaway from the craziness that's been going on in the ATL. Winter is kind of single and ready to mingle, and I don't know if she's going to be talking to any other guys or bartenders in the Dominican Republic, but we all are super supportive of Winter right now, and we all want her to be happy, and I really hope that she's able to move on quickly. And I know that she's found her self-worth and self-love, and we are super excited for her. And we are also happy to find out last night that she is not returning Josh's text messages. He has been reaching out to her. So shout out to Winter for that, because we are super excited for you to have closed that chapter and opened a new chapter in your life. We are super supportive of that. And Karen and Thomas are apart for the first time since ever, even from before they were married. They've never been away from each other, out of the country or out of the state, from being together. So Karen has left Thomas this long list of things to do in hopes that she doesn't come home to a house that is completely trashed or with pizza boxes everywhere. So we will see how that comes along as well. And it looked as though Thomas was doing fine. He was talking to a photo of a younger Karen that he had in his workout area. So it looks like he's doing fine. He's making it on his own, but they do miss each other. So I hope that they will be reunited really soon. So let's talk about this lunch between Megan and her friend Brandy. So Megan felt that Karen and Chantel didn't seem very interested in meeting her. We kind of found that out right after that meeting took place. But she also was concerned because she didn't think it was a good move for River not to tell his mom and sister about her son. So she was a little concerned there. But now there is a new situation that came up where she had a conversation with River, and he said that he doesn't feel like she's showing up in the relationship. And by showing up, he means, like being fully available, making time, being emotionally available for the relationship. And Megan feels like that she is being available in the relationship, and River feels like she's not. And it kind of looks like there's some sort of miscommunication, misunderstanding going on. So I know next week we will see them in a recording studio where River is recording a song which appears to be about Megan, and we're gonna see if that conversation that she had with Brandy is actually going to make it into the recording session, and see how that goes. We all have our fingers crossed. We are all team River and Megan here, so we're hoping that things are going to work themselves out. So we're hoping that this is just a small miscommunication, misunderstanding of words and information between the two of them. So let's talk a little bit about this meeting between Pedro, Chantel, and Lydia. The last time that Chantel, Lydia, Pedro, and Karen, everyone came together was a pretty intense situation. It was in an alley. There was a lot of yelling. There was threats. So this meeting actually did not go that way at all. It was a very intense conversation, but there were no drinks thrown. There was no yelling. There was no animosity. There was more so just strong words. So Chantel actually got the chance to question Lydia about her intentions with Pedro's father, whether or not she loved him or not, and even if she felt guilty about how the situation went down and what took place between their father and her. And she denied feeling guilty, and she felt that she can't really speak for the actions, of another person. And Lydia just doesn't really feel like none of this situation is something that she can be at fault for. And obviously Pedro feels differently, because being with a married man is something that you can prevent from happening, and especially having 2 kids with. So they're definitely not on the same page, and Lydia feels like she's explained this over and over and over, and she even called the conversation about Pedro's father boring, to take it to the next level. So Pedro's even more confused by the situation, because now he wonders, since he was raised by his mom and the way that his family has been doing things in the past, he wonders whether or not he confuses love with advantage. He's thinking that what if I didn't actually love Chantel? What if I wanted to move to America? And what if it was subconsciously I was doing what I was raised to do? Chantel obviously doesn't believe that's the case, and we've all seen their story unfold. And I do feel like Pedro and Chantel love each other a lot, and they've definitely been there for each other throughout their relationship, and I don't think that's the case. But unfortunately, all of the things that are going on in Pedro's life have him doubting himself. They have him doubting a lot. Learning the things about his family that he's learned have really gotten him into a different place. He's in a darker place, and he's trying to make sense of the information that he's gathered, and it's a very confusing situation. So I'm really glad that Chantel is there to kind of be a support system and a voice of reason, because that's exactly what he needs. He needs some reasoning in his life. So Pedro has set up this meeting between his brothers, Pedro Jr. and his other brother, and he wants to offer the opportunity to his sister Nicole to meet their siblings. And he meets with Nicole, and unfortunately the situation spiraled into an argument regarding Alejandro. And in the end, Nicole actually refuses to attend the meeting to meet her siblings. And she's never really been too much on fire about finding her father or meeting the other siblings or any of that. But she was at least hearing Pedro out. But after this conversation that took place, it almost feels like the relationship between Nicole and Pedro is very rocky. I feel like the Alejandro fight has really turned things upside down, and Nicole almost feels like she doesn't really want to continue a relationship with her brother, and that is very disheartening and concerning, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to work through that. So next week, we are going to be seeing a scene between Pedro and his two brothers meeting for the first time, and he's actually going to be able to ask them questions regarding his father, whether or not they knew he existed or Nicole existed. And he's actually going to be asking for the whereabouts of his father to coordinate a meeting between the two of them, which is going to be an intense situation. And I am worried for Pedro of how this is going to go, because his mom has warned us that he's not an emotional person. He's not someone that is sensitive. So meeting with him could be a very difficult situation to get through, because in the state that Pedro is in, he needs some compassion and empathy. And if he's not going to receive that from his dad, I really hope that he's going to have the support with him during that meeting to make sure that goes well. We're also going to see a scene next week with Megan and River. He's performing a song in the studio to record it, so we're going to see how that goes as well. Thank you guys so much for joining. That is it for the Family Chantel podcast. I am George Mossey. This is season 3, episode 10. Make sure you guys are live tweeting with us every week. The show is trending last night. We have to keep it trending. This season has been amazing, and I am super excited for what's to come. And I'll see you guys real soon.